On the morning of June 17, 2025, the world awoke to a wave of alarming headlines. Newsrooms buzzed with urgency as anchors delivered breaking news bulletins, and newspapers around the globe splashed the same chilling words across their front pages. China, Philippines, conflict. In the West Philippine Sea, beneath gathering storm clouds, a new and dangerous kind of tempest was brewing, not of nature but of human aggression and mounting conflict. Reports began to pour in from Ayungin Shoal, a remote and contested reef. Chinese forces had violently intercepted a Philippine resupply mission, escalating tensions to a level not seen in years. The confrontation was brutal and shockingly one-sided. The Philippine supply boat, battered and outmatched, bore the scars of a dangerous escalation in a dispute that had simmered for decades. Around the world, people gathered in public squares and living rooms, glued to their screens, holding their breath as the story unfolded in real time. At the heart of the crisis lies Ayungin Shoal, home to the grounded BRP Sierra Madre. This rusting, isolated ship has become both a lonely outpost and a powerful symbol of Philippine sovereignty in the face of overwhelming odds. Filipino Marines stationed aboard the Sierra Madre depend on regular resupply missions for food, water, and survival. Each mission is a lifeline, a testament to their resilience and determination. But China, claiming nearly the entire South China Sea as its own, has tightened its blockade around the outpost, seeking to isolate the Marines and assert its dominance over the contested waters. This latest incident, however, was different, marked by a level of violence and aggression never before seen in these waters. Eyewitnesses and official reports described how Chinese Coast Guard personnel rammed and boarded the Philippine boats, some wielding bladed weapons, turning a tense standoff into a chaotic and dangerous melee. Shaky, handheld videos captured the chaos, shouting, boats colliding, armed men clashing on slippery decks. The footage spread rapidly online, shocking viewers worldwide. This was no longer a simple maritime dispute over fishing rights or territory. It now resembled an act of piracy, perhaps even a prelude to open war. The international community demanded answers. What exactly had happened in those contested waters? Who would be held accountable for the violence? In Manila, military officials convened emergency meetings. The question on everyone's mind: how would the Philippines respond? Was war now inevitable, or could diplomacy still prevail? Years of simmering tension, fierce national pride, and the lure of the South China Sea's vast resources have brought the region to a dangerous precipice. The stakes have never been higher. China's actions sent a chilling message to the world. They are willing to use force, intimidation, and even violence to assert their sweeping claims. The courage and resolve of the Filipino sailors is undeniable. Yet their ordeal highlights a sobering reality. A small nation standing firm against the might of a superpower, risking everything to defend its sovereignty. The stability of Southeast Asia, and perhaps the entire world order, now hangs in the balance. The eyes of the world are fixed on this flashpoint, wondering what will happen next. All of this, global anxiety, diplomatic tension, and the threat of war, has been triggered by a violent clash at a lonely, rusting ship on a remote shoal. The world is watching, anxiously awaiting the next move. The stakes have never been higher, and the outcome remains uncertain. The Philippine Navy's resupply mission to the BRP Sierra Madre was supposed to be routine, a lifeline for the Marines stationed on the rusting ship. But in these contested waters, every journey is shadowed by risk and tension, with danger lurking just beyond the horizon. Using small, fast boats, the Filipino sailors attempted to slip past China's ever-tightening blockade, weaving through the waves with determination and hope. Each maneuver was a calculated risk as Chinese patrols watched their every move. On June 17th, the usual harassment escalated into outright assault, shattering any illusion of safety. A flotilla of Chinese vessels swarmed the Philippine boats, ramming them with overwhelming force and precision, leaving the smaller craft battered and vulnerable. Suddenly, Chinese personnel in tactical gear boarded the vessels, wielding knives, spears, and long metal poles. Their faces were set with grim determination, prepared for confrontation. Their goal was clear: stop the mission at any cost, no matter the consequences or the risk of escalation. The Chinese forces slashed the boats, seized vital equipment, and engaged Filipino sailors in brutal close combat. The deck became a chaotic battleground, echoing with shouts and the clash of metal. The Filipinos, unprepared for this level of violence, tried desperately to defend themselves and their mission. Outnumbered and outgunned, they fought back with whatever they had, driven by duty and resolve. Communication and navigation equipment was destroyed in the melee, plunging the crew into an information blackout. Cut off from command, they were left isolated and vulnerable in hostile waters. The aftermath was grim. The mission failed, boats were left damaged and adrift, and the much-needed supplies never reached the Marines waiting on the Sierra Madre. Several Filipino sailors were injured, some seriously as a result of the violent encounter. The cost was not just material, but deeply personal. This was not a distant standoff. It was a brutal personal clash at sea, with sailors staring into the eyes of their adversaries, fighting for survival and national pride. China's willingness to inflict harm marked a dangerous new phase in the conflict, signaling a readiness to escalate beyond warnings and intimidation. The violence crossed a red line, escalating the crisis to its most perilous point yet. The world took notice, as headlines flashed across international media and governments voiced concern. The Philippines was left to count the cost, both in human lives and strategic losses, and to consider its next move in an increasingly volatile standoff. The stakes had never been higher. Every decision now carried the weight of potential conflict, with the eyes of the world watching. The sea had turned into a battleground, its waves now bearing the scars of a confrontation that could shape the future of the region. Amid the violence and chaos, Filipino sailors showed extraordinary courage, standing firm even as danger closed in from all sides. Outnumbered and outgunned, they fought to protect their vessels and each other, relying on teamwork and sheer determination to hold the line. Their mission was simple: deliver food and relief to comrades stationed on remote outposts, but it quickly became a fight for survival as they faced relentless threats at sea. Seaman First Class Jeffrey Facundo lost his thumb defending his boat, a permanent reminder of the price of sovereignty and a symbol of the sacrifices made by so many. These sailors are not just statistics, they are fathers, sons, and husbands, each with families waiting anxiously at home, risking everything for their country and loved ones. The psychological toll is immense. Every mission now feels like going into battle, with the constant fear of not returning home weighing heavily on their minds. Yet, despite the risks, they continue to volunteer, driven by a deep sense of patriotism and duty to defend their nation's sovereignty. Their resilience and unity are the backbone of the Philippines' stand in the West Philippine Sea, inspiring hope and pride among their fellow citizens. The government has recognized their bravery with medals and honors, but no award can erase the physical and emotional scars they carry. The human cost of China's aggression is real and growing, with each confrontation leaving new wounds and stories of loss. These sailors' stories are a modern David versus Goliath, a testament to the power of courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Their struggle is not just for themselves, but for the rights of all nations to exist without fear, and for the principle that might does not make right. The world must not forget their faces, nor the sacrifices they make every day to defend freedom on the open sea. Their courage is a beacon in a darkening sea, lighting the way for others who stand for justice and peace. Their fight is for all who value freedom and law, reminding us that the cost of defiance is high, but the cause is worth every sacrifice. The June 17th incident is a classic example of China's gray zone strategy, aggression that stops just short of open war. China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia, not its navy, to maintain plausible deniability. The goal: wear down the Philippines without triggering a military response. It's a war of attrition, blockades, water cannons, now bladed weapons. The Philippines faces an impossible choice: respond and risk war, or do nothing and lose control. Filipino fishermen are among the hardest hit, chased from their traditional waters, their livelihoods destroyed. This is economic warfare, designed to break the will of local communities. China's constant presence aims to make its claims a reality, eroding Philippine sovereignty without firing a shot. The world is being tested. Will it allow maritime boundaries to be rewritten by force? The slow-motion invasion continues, challenging the rule of law. The stakes are global. At the heart of the conflict is a battle over international law. The Philippines stands by the 2016 Hague ruling, which rejected China's sweeping claims and affirmed Philippine rights in the West Philippine Sea. The tribunal condemned China's actions and clarified that Ayungin Shoal lies within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. China, however, has rejected the ruling, calling it null and void, and accelerating its military buildup. This defiance undermines the international legal order and leaves few options for peaceful resolution. China's stance is clear: might makes right. The result is a lawless environment where power, not law, determines outcomes. The Philippines' legal victory is ignored, and the world's rules are put to the test. The conflict is no longer just about territory, it's about the future of the global order. The world must decide if the law will stand. The West Philippine Sea is vital for millions of Filipinos. It's their source of food, jobs, and hope. Fishing is a way of life, but China's blockade is crippling the industry and pushing families into poverty. Fishermen are forced into overfished waters, spending more and earning less, all while fearing harassment. The economic pressure is deliberate, weakening the nation's connection to its own sea. Beyond fishing, the sea holds vast oil and gas reserves, resources critical for the Philippines' future. China's aggressive patrols have stalled exploration, denying the country energy independence and economic growth. Foreign investors are wary, and the Philippines' ambitions are on hold. This is a fight for food security, jobs, and national survival. The sea is the nation's lifeblood, now under threat. The struggle is not abstract. It's about the right to prosper from one's own resources. The blockade is choking the future of an entire people. The Philippines is not alone. Its alliance with the United States is a crucial deterrent. The Mutual Defense Treaty means an armed attack could draw in the U.S., raising the stakes for China. The U.S. has made its commitment clear, increasing its military presence and conducting joint exercises. Other nations, Japan, Australia, the UK, France, have condemned China's actions and sent ships to the region. International bodies like the G7 and EU have called for respect of the 2016 ruling. This growing coalition is isolating China diplomatically. Global support amplifies the Philippines' voice, but words alone may not be enough. The key question: how far will allies go to defend the Philippines and the rule of law? The strength of these alliances is being tested. The world's response in the coming months will shape the outcome. The stakes are global, and the world is watching. The West Philippine Sea has become a high-stakes game of chicken. Each side pushes the limits, hoping the other will blink first. The June 17th clash brought the region closer to open conflict than ever before. A single miscalculation could ignite a war involving superpowers. If a Filipino sailor is killed, pressure to retaliate would be immense, potentially triggering the U.S. alliance. Diplomacy is faltering. Both sides are locked in a dangerous standoff. The world watches a slow-motion train wreck, unsure how to stop it. A war here would disrupt global trade and draw in multiple nations. The brinkmanship at Ayungin Shoal is a symptom of a larger struggle for power. The consequences would be catastrophic for all. The crisis in the West Philippine Sea is a test for the world. At stake, freedom of navigation, the rights of small nations, and the rules-based order. If China's actions go unchecked, it sets a precedent for aggression everywhere. The Philippines' struggle is for every nation's right to exist in peace. The world must act through robust diplomacy, real consequences for aggression, and stronger support for the Philippines. The goal: bring China back to the table, with the 2016 ruling as the foundation. The choice is clear: confrontation and chaos, or peace and shared prosperity. The events of June 17th are a wake-up call. The future of the international order hangs in the balance. The lonely vigil of Filipino Marines is a vigil for us all.